Hi, welcome back to my channel, and this is a sound off on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, so the episode picks back up at the dinner in New York with all the couples together, and pretty much Kenya is checking Mr. Ralph on his nonsense. So Kenya is letting Ralph know, like, you're diminishing your wife, you're putting her down. She's calling out his nonsense, right? And Marlo was like, you know, we're gonna be 100, Drew, I'm blaming you for some of this, you know? And then Kenya's like, yeah, because, you know, Drew, you do some of the same stuff you complain about him doing. Yeah, she does. She absolutely does. And so she's looking confused, like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And she was like, your issue with Sheree. And Drew really feels like she's right. Like, she really feels like she didn't do nothing wrong to Sheree. She don't feel like she wrong. And girl, whatever. So they all call her out. Like, they leave her no space to wiggle up out of it. Girl, you've been wrong. You've been messing with Sheree and you're out of order. She's like, well, no one would appreciate anyone talking bad about their husband. And Kandi has to let her know, like, girl, you're forgetting that it's your assistant that said something about your husband to Sheree. It's not Sheree just going around saying stuff about your husband. And she's like, well, I don't have any proof of that. And so this is why I cannot do Drew Sidora. I can't do her. Because it's like, girl, if this assistant was spilling all of Sheree's tea to you, telling her all these things, like he was so eager to tell you stuff about Sheree and her personal business, you really find it hard to believe that he was talking bad about you and your husband? Do you have rocks inside of here? Like, what's wrong? Like, I just can't with her. I just can't. So they're still trying to reason with Drew. And so Sheree just drops some receipts and was like, you see this text message? This is from him. And this is what he said about your husband. He sent me a picture of your husband and Dennis and all this other stuff. And she's just like, bitch, he was talking about Sheree to you. You should damn well know that he was talking about you to Sheree. It's not rocket science. If he could be messy with you, who he just met, and tell you about his good girlfriend Sheree, what makes you think that he wasn't telling Sheree stuff about you? Anyways, they are able to squeeze an apology out of Drew, and for her putting her hands in Sheree's face, I'm talking about, it's gonna be fun. She apologizes for her antics, and I guess they can move forward. Meanwhile, Kenya gets, I think, a text from Mark. And a lot of people were very proud of Kenya for going in on Ralph last episode. And my thing with that was, I wasn't mad at nothing Kenya said to Ralph. I was here for it. My only issue with Kenya was like, girl, when it came down to defending yourself against Mark, you never did. You never did that. Like, we were rooting for you. We wanted to see you clock that clown. And you just never did it. But sometimes I guess it's a lot easier. One of my homies from Twitter was like, sometimes it's easier to, you know, stand up for other people. And that's very true. It's a lot easier standing up for others that you care about than for yourself. So if that was the case, then I get it. But right after she done got Ralph together, Mark Demon, he texts her with some nonsense about not wanting to keep the baby. And I don't really know what happened with all of that. But I will say that Marlo went after her and was like giving her a pep talk and was like, girl, whatever needs to be done, we can just make it happen. But don't let this man ruin your night. And side note, I am really loving Marlo. I did not think I would like Marlo. Like, I ain't never like hated Marlo or nothing, but she has done some things in the past that really rubbed me wrong. But I really, really, really like Marlo this season. And then the dynamic between Marlo, Kenya, and Sheree, I'm really enjoying them. Like, I'm really enjoying them. I know that it's gonna be short-lived, but that's a cute little trio right there. And it feels real. It doesn't feel forced. It's like, I'm into it. Like, I heard they're gonna be beefing later on, but hopefully they can clear that up because I like them together. They're really cute. But anywho, Marlo, I felt like was real supportive of Kenya in that moment, and I liked seeing that. Like I liked seeing that side of Marlo. I really did. And like I said, Kenya had all this mouth for Ralph, but she's still letting Mark Demon play with her. Like, girl, he need to just go away. Ooh, I'm tired of him. So about Kandi and these vibrating panties, it's like Marlo had to let her know, like, girl, you doing too much, sis. And she didn't too much like that because she looking at Marlo stank. And Kandi's like, you know, well, Marlo, you used to your coochie buzzing. And it's like, yeah, but that don't mean when I'm hanging out with my friends and their husbands, I want it buzzing in that space. I think Nene done already told you. And it's just like, we get it, Kandi, the sex is your brand. You want to give sex kitten, sex goddess. It just doesn't translate. And every single time it just comes off as cringe. Like, I know you want to give sex goddess, but it just gives us a girl with bad table manners. Like, ooh, Lord. Kandi, you just don't give that. Like, and it's no disrespect, but you just don't give that. Like, no shade. But Portia steps into the room just bouncy and girly and giggly, and she gives you sexy. She just does, right? She gives you sex pot. You know, even Marlo. Marlo comes around and everybody just, in their imagination, they just think Marlo is just doing all types of things. But she doesn't have to try. She just gives you sexiness. Kandi don't really give that. It just always seems forced and corny. I don't know. I guess, child. So it's the next day, and Sonya and Kenya link up, and they're deciding to have a little chat. And Kenya, she lets Sonya know that she's done a little bit of reflecting, and she thinks that she might have been a little too harsh with Ralph. And she feels like maybe she was projecting a little bit. And she definitely was. She definitely was. Because like I said, I wish she would have given that energy to Mark Demon instead of Ralph. Because Ralph and Drew's problems are probably fictitious. I don't really believe them. She wasted all that good talk on buffoon number 1 and buffoon number 2. But whatever. I will say, though, I appreciate that she did do some self-reflection and say, okay, I might have went too far. It's growth. You know, it's the growth for me. I have never been Team Twirl, okay? She had her times where I agreed with her, but she had a lot of times that she did some shit that I just couldn't get down with. But I'm enjoying her this season because I feel like she's being Kenya. She's showing us herself and not so much this villain character that, you know, she's been portraying since season 5, which I like. I like this side of Kenya. Like, you know, that she can be like, you know what? Maybe I didn't need to do all of that. I like that, okay? But anyways. But she's saying that to her, and she's like, yeah, maybe I could, you know, I might need to say something to him. And I think so, because Ralph was taken aback, like, damn, why she coming for me? But anywho, Sonya lets Kenya know, like, pretty much, I know I met Drew first. I was introduced to the group through Drew. But Drew been doing some things that I just can't get down with. You know, she's just been doing some stuff that I'm not here for. As someone like Sonya, who's an athlete, an Olympian, her husband's an athlete, like their whole family, I think her dad used to be her trainer. Her whole family, they take their fitness very seriously. And I don't think she's liking too much this mockery that Drew is making of, you know, with her drop. She ain't feeling this drop it with Drew arrangement, right? She's not liking that too much. She feels like it's phony, and she has some feelings towards that. She also did not like the whole situation with Sheree and the assistant. And it's like, your assistant is moving messy, and if that's okay with you, that's making me look at you a certain way. And I was totally here for everything Sonya was saying. Because, girl, you don't have to wait for her to do some foolery to you before you can say, this is not the type of stuff that I like to get down with. So I was here for Sonya. I know y'all was mad, but oh well. Sonya was like, look, I'm going to have some things I need to tell her if we're going to be in this group together. So Kandi and Sheree are FaceTiming each other, and Kandi got 1,000,001 questions about Tyrone. Is Tyrone gonna be able to make it? Is he coming? Da, 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 da. All these questions, and it's like, Kandi, you know you don't give a damn about no Tyrone and what he got going on with Sheree. You know that you do not care. Like, girl, you clocking in though. You tired of them calling you boring, huh? Okay, whatever. Sheree's like, yeah, he ain't gonna be able to make it. He don't want to take a chance because any little thing could jeopardize his freedom, so he's not trying to take the chance. And then Kenny's like, oh, that sucks. That's not right. And Kenny, you don't care, but okay, girl. But she was like, I'm gonna go meet him though tomorrow and spend some time with him and all this shebang. And I was just like, girl, Sheree. You gonna waste all that fine on Tyrone? Child, I guess. So the group, they're at another dinner yet again, and they're talking. And I don't even know how this came up, but Jazzy Faye came up in conversation. And apparently, him and Marlo used to have a thing. And Marlo was like, yeah, it wasn't going to go too far because I was not about to be nobody's secret. I'm not a side piece and I'm not going to be treated like one. But I guess they still have a nice little whatever because they show a flashback to when Marlo went to visit Kandi at the studio. And I guess he was in the studio around the corner or whatever. I don't know. But it was a cute little scene. I wish we had gotten to see that or whatever. I don't know. Kenya asked Kandi, like, girl, who is the most famous guy that's ever hit on you? And she's trying to rack her brain, and she's like, well, I was in a full-blown relationship with Gerald Levert. And a lot of people said they didn't know that. I knew that, though, because I remember when his son was graduating, her and Todd went to the graduation, and then I remember where Gerald Levert's father, Eddie Levert, and his son, they came to visit Kandi somewhere. She was on the set of something, and she was really excited to see them. But I felt like I thought we knew this already, that she dated Gerald Levert. I used to really like Kandi, and I used to follow her, so maybe that's why I know, and the rest of y'all don't remember anyways. But she says Gerald Levert. And Todd, that was cute. Todd was like, be careful now, Kenya. Don't make me have to fuck nobody up. Todd, shut up. Stop it. That was cute, though, but stop. So Miss Drew, she a fool if I ever seen one. So Drew says that a certain king of the NBA, and we all know she's talking about King James, he sent her a drink. She used to get flued out. He used to listen to her music while he was winning them games and all that other stuff. And they kept bleeping his name, but we already know what she was talking about. And so Sonya in her confessionals is like, wasn't he with Savannah when they were in high school? And I think we all know that he was with Savannah when he was in high school. But he a man. Y'all know how they do. I'm pretty sure between high school and before he got married to Savannah, it was a lot of women. It was a lot of women in between that time. I can believe Drew was one of them because Drew was cute. Drew was cute back. She's still cute. Like, she annoying, but she's a beautiful lady. So I could see him wanting to date Drew. But my thing with Drew is just like, girl, I don't think I would have admitted that. I would have kept that to myself. Some things you keep to yourself. Because even if he was messing with you, I'm pretty sure he was still dealing with Savannah. They had a family. They had children. He was still with Savannah. I'm sure they were still seeing each other. And he was seeing several other women. And it's like, the way that Savannah and LeBron be out here, like, I wouldn't even want nobody to know that I ever talked. Girl, Drew, you so corny. You couldn't just leave it at, he sent me a drink one time and just leave it at that. You don't know how to do nothing. She don't know how to do stuff right. But you gonna talk about you got flued out. He was listening to you. Girl, shut up. And then it's like, girl, you mean you was pulling King James and you ended up with Anywho, Marlo said Gene Simmons, and then Kenya says Prince. And a lot of y'all was shading the girls on the timeline. Now, we know that Kenya can be annoying sometimes. Kenya can be a lot. But one thing we cannot take from her is Kenya is beautiful. And she has been known for her beauty since the 90s. So I could totally see Prince flirting with her backstage at an award show or on set of something in passing. He gave her a compliment. I could totally see that happen. I don't know why y'all was trying to play Kenya, because she ain't ugly by no means. Don't do that. The Gene Simmons thing, I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's more than, I mean, do I care? I don't think I care. What was funny though, that Todd didn't know who Gene Simmons was. He was like, say somebody that we know. And she was like, he the most known person. What you talking about? Oh, Todd. So now we're going to see this play. That's the reason why everybody is in New York, you know, to see Kandi's play. And Kandi had gifted the lady the vibrating panties, and they were supposed to wear them that night. And it was supposed to be a game. And the husbands are gonna have the remote control and all this other stuff. And I just thought that was so, I don't care what nobody said. That shit was weird. I'm not a prude. I'm not, you know, I believe, let your freak flag fly, okay? I'm here for everybody, okay? I don't try to judge, but that was weird. That was weird, because this was my thing, right? So Kandi and her husband are there. They have each other, like, she's wearing her stuff, he got the control. Sonya got her man, Drew got her man, and then you have Marlo, Sheree, and Kenya, and they don't have husbands. So who was supposed to be in control of their remote for their panties? Kandi, girl, I don't know. And then we find out that pretty much everybody's remote can work on anyone if you're in close range. So I think it was Todd, he was buzzing it just to be buzzing, and Sonya hopped up out her chair and had to adjust herself because it was doing the most. And I just felt like that was weird. That was weird. Shout out to my girl AZ on Twitter. She was like, can you imagine you're watching a play that's so serious and you're getting buzzed while watching? And somebody else said that too, and I think Kandi replied and was like, no, they weren't allowed to do it while we were watching the play. But it was like, what was the point of it, Kandi? Like, I know you're trying to bring more customers in, but girl, this was weird. It was just weird. It just was creepy and it was cringe. And it was just like, Kandi, girl. Give it up, Delicious. Let's do something different. Like, okay, anywho. I just felt like, and then you know what else was weird to me? I just kind of felt like Sonya and Drew were eager to actually participate in the vibrating panties game because they were kissing up to Kandi. The other women who are grown and their position is secure on this show, they didn't give a damn. They was like, they ain't wearing that shit. Sheree said she wore it, but she just forgot the remote. Kenya and Marlo was like, miss me with this shit, I ain't doing it. And it was just like, yeah, because y'all grown. Because y'all not no followers. Because Sonya, I guess Sonya's just trying to be a team player, but girl, whatever. This was just weird. So the play is over. Everyone is excited. They're happy. They're congratulating Kandi. They was like, this is a great job. You did wonderful on it. They're heading back to the hotel. And Kandi has a spread laid out for them back on, I think, the second floor or whatever, so that they can kind of unwind and have some talk and, you know, mingle. Sheree, Kenya, and Marlo, they all meet back there first. So before the other girls join them, Kenya lets Sheree and Marlo know, like, yo, Sonya said she wanted to have a conversation with Drew about her Drop It With Drew program and, you know, the stuff that she did to you, Sheree. And they're like, what you talking about? And so she's explaining how this Drop It With Drew program is kind of weird. Like, girl, how you get a tummy tuck? How you get a whole mommy makeover, but then you're advertising this weight loss program? Girl, what's really tea? And so Marlo messy ass, and I love her. Marlo messy ass gonna pull it up, pull the website up, and then the website crashed right in front of her face. And she was like, what the hell? Nothing was there. And they laughing and they having a good kiki. Anyways, the rest of the group starts coming down one by one. And Kenya uses this opportunity to apologize to Ralph and let her know that, you know what, I know I was projecting. I might have taken things a little too far that day. I apologize. And like I said, I appreciated that. He might be a joke. He might be, you know, a lot of things, but it wasn't about him. It was not about him. It was about Kenya realizing like, okay, I did something that I probably shouldn't have done, or I probably should have gone about it a different way. And I'm going to own my shit and I'm going to apologize. This is the type of Kenya I like to see. But anywho, I know a lot of people was like, she don't need to apologize to him for nothing. It wasn't about him. It was not about him. It was about Kenya. And this is what is making me I'm really liking her this season. Like, she's really shining this season. So the guys leave and Sonya decides to call Drew to the carpet for her shenanigans. Drew is not happy that she's being called out. She's uncomfortable. She's squirming. So she's kind of like rejecting what Sonya is saying. But it's simple. She met you first. You brought her around the group. But let's just be real. We all know that Bravo casted all of you women, and they decided to make it work by having Drew introduce Sonya to the group. Sonya, she didn't realize, this might not be the person I want to be aligned with, because she on some BS that I'm not on. And I feel like she has a right to say that. She doesn't have to wait for Drew to do her dirty before she says, Drew, you're doing stuff that I don't like. And everybody was like, she was looking for a reason to be mad at Drew. She just wants to drop Drew because Drew's not the fan favorite. Nah, maybe. It's possible that she don't like what Drew was doing and she tried to give her a chance and she's already seeing that it's going left and she wants out and she don't want to be a part. She don't want to be attached to Drew. She don't want to be attached to Drew. I can't blame her because I gave everybody a clean slate last year, but let's just be real. Anybody who would join the show without watching the previous seasons would be a dummy. So I'm pretty sure Sonya watched season 13. That mess that Drew did to LaToya, where you offered LaToya a ride home when she was drunk. During the ride home, you were asking her and probing her about her life. You get to her house, you be nice to her mom, you start making conversations with her mom, you start having phone calls with her mom, trying to get information on LaToya, then you bring it back to the group and throw it in LaToya's face just because you thought you could. That was nasty. That is worse than anything that anybody has ever done on this show, with the exception of Dungeon Gate. Good, we ain't gonna go there. But that was really nasty. Like, you took advantage of a drunk person, asked them their personal business, and then came and threw it in their face. That shit was nasty. So if I'm Sonya and I see what you're done to Sheree with the assistant, then I see, like, girl, I'm be looking at you sideways too, and I wouldn't want to be your friend either. I wouldn't want to be attached to you. So I'm really not mad at Sonya. Like, y'all would do better. See, y'all used to fake bitches on these shows. I can appreciate Sonya telling Drew, that shit that you're doing, I'm not here for it. I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't move that way. So you moving like that got me looking at you away. And and Drew's like, well, I picked you up when you had an accident. Girl, you know the producers made her call you. Her sister, her brother-in-law, her mom, and her dad live in town. Why would she call you if she got into a car accident? The producers made her call you. Cut that out. Don't be fake. I do feel like Sonya did a little sneaky, slick shit. However, if she don't like how you're moving, she has every right to say, girl, I didn't like that. We're on the show, so they're going to film me telling you that I didn't like that. Didn't Drew do the same thing last year when she turned on Kenya? So I don't understand why y'all was mad at Sonya. Like, I really don't. Like, yes, Sonya did do that was a little sneaky because she could have pulled her to the side, but you guys are filming the show, so she gonna tell y'all. I don't know what was wrong with it. I would rather her let Drew know, like, girl, you done did some things that I don't like, rather than she smile in Drew's face And then by the end of the season, she slammed Drew head across the table and then chases her around the building talking about she was gonna kill her. Drew just wants Sonya to shut up. She just wants her to stop talking. She doesn't know. She didn't prepare for this conversation, so she don't know what to say really. And she's just saying really weird stuff. And she be acting like her brain is scatter, like her head's scatter, like something wrong with her. I don't know. But Marlo, she kind of, changes things up, and she's like, hey, the only thing Kenya had a problem with was your Drop It With Drew website. Girl, we went on there and it wasn't working. And then Drew was acting confused, like, huh, what? And it was like, Drew. After she started thinking of some lies to tell, she was like, oh yeah, the website crashed. And they were like, yeah, girl, because so many people was signing up for your program, okay? And it's like, girl, they making a fool of your... You make a fool of yourself. They don't really have to do too much. But anyways, I thought that was cute. That was funny how they kind of lightened the mood a little bit. And, but it was like, girl, Drew, nobody is buying what you selling. Well, maybe some people out there buying what you selling. But girl, the group ain't buying what you selling. Everybody in the group, I think it's unanimous that you full of shit. That is the consensus amongst the group. So it's the next day. Sheree's excited to go meet up with Tyrone. New York to Philly is a 2-hour drive, so she gets a car and she's going over there and she's I think she was talking to her daughter. I might be wrong, but I think she was talking to her daughter, and she was like, yeah, I'm gonna go meet him. It's a 2-hour drive. I might take a nap. She gets there and pretty much he stands her up, and she was sitting there in the cold. She was looking fabulous in that fur. Okay, hair was done, everything was done. Sheree looked really good. Okay, she got on her best to best, and that fool stood her up, and I didn't like that. I did not like that. Like, and then he had his lawyer contact production to say he wasn't coming. He blocked her, so when she was calling him, she couldn't reach out to him. And then I think she calls her daughter again and was like, girl, what does it mean when it go busy but it ring or whatever? And she was like, girl, I think he blocked you. And Sheree started to cry, and I was too through. I was upset. Like, I was so upset. Sheree, why you letting him play with you like this? I didn't like it. I did not like it. It really upset my spirit. Like, what? You couldn't have told Sheree, do not come to Philly. I'm not even going to be able to meet up with you. Or I can't film. I can't do it. Like, you let her sit in the car for 2 hours and you stand her up, and it's cold, and she's sitting out there in the cold waiting for you, calling you, and then you block her? Sheree, girl, I don't know what you're going to do, but I just saw a snippet of a preview before I started filming this, and it looks like you ain't break up with him. The way I would erase you from my mind and my brain. Who? Ty what? I ain't never heard of that person. Like, Sheree. Oh my goodness, that really upset me. And we've been seeing the preview for a while, that we knew it was coming, but watching it really hurt my feelings. Like, I didn't like that. Anyways, that's pretty much what happened. We're gonna see what happens next episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.